Welcome back to Create Craft Costume. Today is a real treat. It is the Ashley Show, all about spray paint.
Last week I gave you 10 tips on spray painting for at home or for crafters. This week we are comparing color shifting spray paint. So let's get started. Today we are going to be comparing these specific color shifting spray paints. These are just the ones that I found on the market, so if you know of any more, please let me know in the comments below because I would love to try them out. A couple notes before we begin. I wanted this spray paint for a specific craft project, which is why I am going to be painting these plastic eggs. Before I got started, I added a bonding primer to it because I was worried about the color sticking. If you would like any notes about this or my tips on spray painting, please see my previous video. Now, because they are round, I have to flip the eggs both when I am using the bonding primer and when I'm using the base coat. An important note about this color shifting paint, all of them say to apply over a black base coat. So while the bonding primer was not part of the instructions, the black base coat definitely is. And that means I had to prep these items 4 times. Twice with the bonding primer and then twice with the black primer because I had to turn them upside down and wait for each side to dry before finishing the other half. That means you will definitely see some mistakes, like maybe some drips or some curve lines, especially because I was trying to film this at the same time and I wasn't the most patient waiting for it to dry. So for this video, we are just comparing the colors. We're not comparing the painting technique. Let's begin. The first one we're going to start with is this 11-ounce color shifting Cosmos Blue Rustoleum paint. I found this at Walmart and this was actually what inspired me to make this video. I had a craft idea in mind and I had never seen such a large can of color shifting spray paint before. Plus, I have been using Rustoleum for years, so the spray that comes out of this is much stronger than the other brands, as you will see. Now, of course, that also has to do with the can, but the coverage is just top notch on this one. Now we're moving on to the smaller Krylon cans. I have only ever seen these at Michael's, and despite only being 8 ounces, they carry a whopping $16.99 price tag. I did not pay that. I always try and buy it with a coupon, but that was a major prohibitor in me trying this before planning out this craft. Here we're looking at the blue-purple finish. A noticeable difference between the Krylon and Rustoleum can is the way the nozzle is designed. Because of how the Krylon tip is designed, the spray comes out in a very wide, light fan. This meant that I actually needed to get closer to the object than I usually did. Versus if I got that close with the Rustoleum paint, I was getting drips or too thick of a layer. So you did get coverage with this paint, it's just definitely more of a craft paint rather than the industrial spray paints that you typically think of. This is the second color from Krylon that I found at Michael's. It is the green gold finish and it still has the same nozzle. It's still only 8 ounces and it is still $16.99 a can. Our last Krylon color is this purple green. I still found it at Michael's. It's still 8 ounces and it still has that wide fan spray. I'm trying to show you some different angles of that here. Don't worry, I know these finishing shots are a little dark, but you will see all of them in natural light at the end. We are on our final type of color shifting spray paint. This is the Testors Craft Spray Paint. I did find this at Michael's as well, but this is by far the hardest one to get a hold of. I couldn't even find the purple fog in my area, so I'm only comparing 3 here. These colors only come in a 3-ounce can, but it is still $9.49 a can. So while the colors are beautiful, there's still no doubt that you are paying a lot for this paint. Also notice that the nozzle is different. I started out with this copper green color and I was used to the distance from the Krylon cans with that thinner fan spray. This is real time. Notice how I'm getting drips almost immediately. And that was because on the side of the can, it says a Rustoleum product. I hope you can tell from the comparison, Rustoleum just has a stronger spray, and that usually translates into a stronger coverage, even though this one officially has craft in the title. Now let's look at this emerald turquoise. It's the same Testors crafts, still 3 ounces, still $9.49 a can. It also still has that really hard spray. As you will see, I do get drips in this, but let me assure you that is not the spray paint's fault, that is mine. I was trying to get the spray can in the shot, and that is not ideal for spray painting. So you should do much better if you're not trying to film this. I have to admit, this one is actually one of my favorite colors. The last Testors craft paint that we're going to be comparing is this blue galaxy. As you might imagine, this is very similar to the blue cosmos that we compared at the beginning in a larger can, but this smaller can had come out first. I can definitely tell that they've improved their formula because I actually preferred the larger can. This is still $9.49, and not only do you just get way more per ounce in the larger can, you get a lot more coverage as well as a vibrant color, in my opinion. One more thought before we get to the final reveal. That left paint can is pink champagne, and it is beautiful, but I never even got to finish one piece with it. It clogged while I was painting this flower pot. I soaked the nozzle, I pricked it, and did everything I could, but I could not fix this. Luckily, this is the only time this has happened to me, but the color shifting spray paints are at the very high end of a spray paint can. When I first bought this, they were about $9, and because of inflation, they're now $11, and I just wasn't willing to purchase another one. So I thought you could see these shots and decide if you want to try it for yourself. And the final reveal is here. You will see it under artificial light on the left and under natural light on the right. I really enjoyed seeing these next to each other because you can tell the light is what determines which color is really emphasized. Now, please let us know, what color would you have chosen in the comments down below? My personal favorite, I really do love that emerald turquoise. And you have heard me mentioning a craft with these. If you would like to see how I use these, make sure you're subscribed and you will see these again in a future video.
I don't know about you, but I learned more about spray painting than I thought there was to learn. So it's a whole new world for me.
And color shift spray paint was actually a whole new world for me. Now, since we were comparing brands, if I'm going just based off things like coverage, cost and price point, and just the color, Rustoleum is still the clear winner for me. I have nothing against Krylon, but especially for the coverage, the price for this was just not there for me. However, it has finishes that Rustoleum didn't. However, Rustoleum, I need you to bring out this and this in this size of a can. I will absolutely buy it. Okay. Speaking of which, just as a note, I did purchase all of these with my own money, so this is not sponsored, but I would sponsor, or I would be sponsored by Rustoleum if they ever gave me the opportunity. Now, speaking of sponsors, that doesn't happen if we can't grow. So please make sure that you are liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have a color shift spray paint or you just want to tell me which one was your favorite, please let us know in the comments down below because that tells the algorithm that this video is worth it to you.
So happy painting. See ya.